Good morning, Instagram. I missed you guys. Good morning, Facebook. Good morning, YouTube. It's been a busy last few days, so I've been incognito, but I'm back. How's everyone doing? Good morning, Mona August. If this is your first time tuning in to one of my lives, definitely put that in the comment so I can give you a shout out. Um, if you tune in normally, definitely still, say hi in the comments. Let us know where you're tuning in from. You know, I personally, I'm tuned in from Orlando, Florida, specifically Lake Mary area. For those of you who haven't met me, or this is your first time meeting me, my name is Ayesha Chidole. I'm an immigration attorney, and I represent clients all over the United States with their family immigration matter. So your state does not matter. I can assist you with U.S. immigration. My phone number here is 407-995-6567. It's scrolling through the ticker on Facebook and YouTube. If you're on Instagram, you can find it on my profile picture. Good morning, OJ Blazing. How are you guys doing? So, like as I said, because I've been incognito, I had a bunch of questions from my last live, which I didn't get to. So I literally printed them all out. So I'm going to read those questions and try to answer them. And then you guys can also put your questions in here. And I will try to answer it. Let me do some shout outs real quick. Um, Good morning, Stephanie. Happy child, Yod. Good morning. He says, good morning. Thanks for your response. You're welcome. Tyre Bank just went right into it. Says, will USCIS automatically send another biometrics appointment after 60 days if I miss the first time? No, they won't. So you need to contact them. Okay. Onyi says, my first time watching you. Hey, Onyi, welcome. Hope you stick around. Okay. And then on Facebook, good morning, Seed, all from New Jersey. Good morning, Tony. Obi Timms, good morning from Tampa. Um, so Mona says, my parents have the green card since 2015. Can they sponsor me while I'm here in the USA? Well, there's so many variables to it because if your parents got their green card in 2015, are they green card holders or are they US citizens now? Another variable is how old are you? That will depend. How you came into the United States will depend. All those things will depend on whether or not you'll be able to adjust your status within the United States or outside of the country. But definitely give me a call and then I can consult with you just to see what's best for you. Again, my number is 407-995-6567. Mabe says, good morning, my first time to thank you so much for tuning in. So let's jump right to it. So somebody here asks, can you please say where they are with green card holding filing for children? I'm asking for somebody. What do you mean by where they are? Where who is? So you can file for a green card for your child if you're a U.S. citizen or a green card holder. The thing or the answer is really dependent on where to file or where where your child is determines what type of application you file, whether you're doing consular processing or whether you're doing adjustment of status. Also, the age of your child determines whether there's a visa available or whether there's no visa available. Keep in mind though that if you're a green card holder filing for your child cannot be married. So if they're over 21, they can't be married. Okay. Ms. Bim said, how can I file for VAL without my spouse's documents to show proof of citizenship? Ms. BNM, we can definitely help you. We do this for our clients all the time. A lot of abusers don't keep your documents where their clients can see it. So we're happy to help you. Call me 407-995-6567. Okay. So let's see. Another question that we get. Someone says, can my husband petition for me and my 16-year-old child at the same time? And will we need separate applications? So the answer is absolutely. So whether you would need separate applications is going to be dependent on, again, where is your child? If your husband is a U.S. citizen, you will need separate applications for your adjustment of status. If you're and if you and your child are in the United States, if you guys are outside of the United States, the way it works basically is if it's a U.S. citizen, they have to file 2 separate I-130s. If it's a green card holder, they can just do the one I-130 and then apply for the 2 of you when you're doing consular processing. Okay, let's see what else. Can I apply for citizenship if I file for VAWA and I get a divorce? So with VAWA, in order for you to apply for citizenship, and this question is by Armando Davis on, I don't know if it was Facebook, but in order for you to file for citizenship, you have to be approved for VAWA and you have to have had your green card for at least 3 years to be eligible for citizenship. You can't just apply for VAWA and while your VAWA is pending, you apply for citizenship. Now, that being said, if you are a conditional green card holder and you're requesting removal of condition on your green card based on an extremely abusive relationship or extreme cruelty, at the 3-year mark from when you had your conditional green card, you will be eligible to apply for citizenship. Now, whether you get approved is a different story, but as far as eligibility to apply, you can. Jan Reed on Facebook is saying, can you file for your spouse with a green card? Again, I see there's so many green card holder questions today. So again, yes, you can, but where you file is dependent on where your spouse is. If you're a green card holder and your spouse is here in the United States, if your spouse is currently in authorized stay, and what I mean when I say authorized stay, your spouse currently has an active I-94 and they've not violated that, they've not overstayed their time. Right now, visas are current and you can actually do an adjustment of status. However, if your spouse is an overstay here and you're also here as a green card holder, the only way that they will be able to adjust their status is one, if you become a U.S. citizen and then file for them, or you file for the I-130, they get approved, and then they do consular processing. That being said, if you and your spouse, if let's say your spouse was, well, obviously I don't want to say that you're abusive, but if you were abusive to your spouse as a green card holder, your spouse would be entitled to file while she's here. She wouldn't have to consular process, even if she's overstayed. So that's kind of how it works. Okay, let's see. Okay, so this is actually a good question. This person, Marsha Peterkin, says, I'm in Boston. Do we have to have an in-person meeting with you to file our green card petition? Absolutely not. And thank God for technology. I meet a lot of my clients, especially in the world of COVID, via Zoom video. I love to talk to you guys on Zoom. I actually prefer Zoom over phone so you can see me and I can see you. So you absolutely do not need to meet us, come into the office. If you're in Boston, you could do a Zoom video call where we, consult. And then, when you hire us, every client has access to their own client portal where they'll be able to see the documents that we're submitting for them and also upload their own documents. Okay. Let's see, what else do I have here? Baby Spy says, good morning. What happens next after biometrics is done? This is a marriage-based petition. Usually what happens next is one of two things. If they need additional information from you, they can request additional evidence, or after that, you will probably get your work permit and your travel permit if you filed for one. Okay, so depending on, whether if you file for it, that's usually what happens next. Timeline, it's really hard to say, honestly. With immigration, you can see the timeline is this, and they don't even follow their own timelines. Okay. Somebody says, if you apply for an I-751 and the status says the case is ready to be scheduled for an interview, does that mean an interview will be done, or is that a standard response? Mona, that's a standard response. Basically what they're essentially saying is that they're done with everything that they need to review. I've had cases with an I-751, and for those of you who don't know what an I-751 is, basically it's saying that what it's saying is basically it's a conditional removal. That's the form you submit to remove your condition. They just, it's a standard response because they could still bypass your interview depending on how, strong your conditional removal application is, because we've had clients where it would say, ready to schedule for an interview, and then, a couple months later, instead of an interview, we got an approval. So that doesn't mean anything. And even if they schedule for an interview, go for the interview and just be prepared to answer the questions and hopefully, get your approval. Okay. Okay, let's see. What else we got here? Somebody says, after I filed for my mom, how long does it take to get an approval? Well, the answer really depends. Where again, it's really hard in the world of immigration. I don't know. Those of you on Instagram, can you see me? Like, it keeps going black, like, either I'm losing signal or something. You filing for your mom really depends on where your mom lives. If you're doing an adjustment of status, it's going to be much quicker. Here in the United States, I can tell you that, with the last email from Orlando field office, they're saying like, adjustment of status is taking like 12 months, 13 months, to almost, I think, like 16 and a half months, for an interview to be scheduled. But if you're outside the country right now, it really depends on one, what country you're petitioning from. Two, if your country was, part of the initial travel ban from February of last year, so there's a backlog. And so honestly, I would say that if you're doing a consular process, just put in your mind that it's going to take at the very minimum 24 months. If it ends up being approved earlier, wonderful, but just put that in your mind so you're not disappointed. Okay. So Mabe on Instagram says, I submitted my VAWA application in August with an I-131 and I-765. I received notice of receipt for the I-131 and I-765, but it's over 40 days and I still haven't received a notice of receipt for the I-360. Did you submit an I-485 as well? I would actually be concerned. Yes, all receipts should come together. So I will actually be concerned if you haven't received the I-360 receipt and you received all the other receipts. If you submitted everything together, I don't know if you were working with counsel, you might want to reach out to your attorney so they can reach out to the VAWA hotline just to see where's your receipt. It's possible that maybe it got lost in the mail or something, but you should get all of them at the same time. Okay, Starboy on YouTube says, my I-360 was approved and my approval notice, my priority date was March 31st, 2016. What does it mean? I filed an I-360 and 485 together in November 2018. Okay, so the priority date for you will not be as important because you're doing an adjustment of status, but generally, when you see priority dates, that's the date you count if you're somebody that is in a family preference category. Let me give you an example. Let's say you filed and you had a child that was under your VAWA, and maybe by the time you got approved, your child was over 21. So the child will count priority date from 2016 to determine whether they're eligible to adjust their status or consular process. So how I'm trying to think of a simpler way to put it. So meaning if let's say you the child is over 21 and the wait time for them to wait for visa to be available is 5 years, and that right now they're currently processing cases from this is very arbitrary. I'm just making a random number from 2015. What it means is that once it gets to March 2016. The date on the priority, those children will then be eligible to put in their adjustment of status application. So that's what it means. But for you, if you are the person who was abused either as a spouse and you've already put in your adjustment of status, the priority date is not really relevant to you. And Thomas Sunny on Facebook says, good morning. Can VAWA application be effective if the person sends money to his home country by Western Union despite not having a work authorization? And I don't mean to laugh because this is actually not funny, but this also lets me know that this thing that I do here is really important because a lot of you guys really don't know how immigration works. You can send money to whoever you want. Like, that's your business. Like, that doesn't affect you in your immigration at all. At the end of the day, you might not be a citizen, but this is a free country. You can send money to whoever you want. It doesn't affect your VAWA. Okay. Let's see what other questions I have. Jan says, I asked a question, can a green card holder file for their spouse? Okay, so I already talked about this earlier in the day. in this live. So if you haven't watched the live, you can rewind it. But the answer is yes, a green card holder can file, but where you file is really dependent on where one, where your spouse lives, whether your spouse is currently in status, meaning that they don't have a visa and an entry that has expired. So all of those things determine whether or where you can file. But generally, a green card holder can file for their spouse. K Faith on Facebook says, good morning. How long does it take for VAWA to come through? Honestly, right now the timeline we have is anywhere from 2 years to 2.5 years. Again, whenever I give you guys timelines, it's a give or take, meaning that some people are going to fall outside of that spectrum. Some people are going to either be prior to that time, and some people are going to be after that time. But after the timeline that USCIS gives, that's when we can really start inquiring, like, what's up? You guys said this was going to be, done. We've passed the process in time. Okay. All right. Let's see. What else do I have? What other questions? Okay. So Thomas says, good morning. Can VAWA applicant? Okay. I already answered this question. Do you guys have any other questions? Let's see if you have any other questions before I jump off. No other questions? Somebody, let's see. Somebody's asking, when can I file for citizenship? You can file for citizenship either, most people are eligible to file for citizenship after having their green card for 5 years. That being said, if you are filing for citizenship based on getting your green card based on marriage, and you've been married for 3 years and had your green card for three years, you're eligible for citizenship. There are other requirements too, but that's the main stuff. Let's see. Yeah, we got that question a lot. Can my green card holder file for my spouse? Green card holder. Okay, so this is the last question I'm going to answer, and then I'm going to jump up. Which is, where is that question? I just lost it. What is a prima facie? So a prima facie determination letter is something that you get if you submit a VAWA claim and you've met the bare minimum requirements to be a VAWA eligible. A prima facie determination is not a guarantee that your VAWA is going to be approved, but it is a good sign that you have met the bare minimum requirements and that your case is moving forward. So they give you this letter basically saying you've met the requirements to be considered VAWA eligible. Usually they're looking at certain things, cohabitation, proof of abuse, good faith marriage, if in the case of parents and children, they're looking at legitimacy of your relationship and proof of your relationship. And what a prima facie allows you to do is they give you this for 1 year. So basically it will cover you and every child that you have that's under 21, that's not a US citizen, whether they're in the United States or whether they're outside the country. It will allow you to get public assistance, and this is very state specific. If you need it, you don't have to use it, but if it's needed, in some states you'll be eligible. Obviously there are 50 states, so I can't tell you what all 50 states do. Some states have a requirement where you cannot be living with your abuser to apply for public assistance. And then the other thing that it will allow you to do is that it will allow you to get a driver's license in some states. So prima facie letters typically come before your work permit. And so for a lot of people, if they don't have their work permit, being able to get their driver's license is helpful to them. Again, this is one where it's not the same in every state. I can tell you off the top of my head, in Florida and Texas, you'll be able to get your driver's license. And then the other thing is that it allows you to get financial assistance for school if you want to go to school and better yourself. Obviously, you will have to have your prima facie renewed while your case is pending to continue to take that. But the wonderful thing about the prima facies are that USCIS will automatically issue you a new prima facie when that one expires, as long as your case is pending. Okay. Starboy says, before I file an I-360, my spouse filed an I-130 for me, and then I converted my I-130 to an I-360 because he was abusive. Okay, that's fine. Um, okay, peeps. Well, good morning to all you latecomers. I'm just messing with you. Well, I am jumping off. I have a meeting, but it was lovely chatting with you guys. I will be on live tomorrow. I'm gonna try and be here sometime between 9 and 10. So again, subscribe to my channel so you can be notified when I come on live. Follow me on Facebook, follow me on Instagram, and on Instagram you can be notified if I come on live so that you can at least get to ask the questions that you have. Okay. All right, guys. And otherwise, if you want to schedule a consultation, definitely give me a call, 407-995-6567. I'll love to change your life. All right. Have a good one, guys. Bye.